Welcome everybody to the 4Media November 2022 Dubs Report, the show where we share our dubs. No L's here, only W's at 4Media. My name's Andrew Deitsch, and today we're going to be kicking it off with some amazing dubs for the whole team. But here to deliver the news is our very own Luc Simmons, joining us from our London office. Luc?
Hi guys, Luke from the London team here. So I've kept it to two, but honestly we could have had a lot more. But the reason I chose these two, just to give people context, is because these both ended up in more business for us. The first one being an upsell and a service, and the second one actually being multiple referrals. So dub number one, they came to us with a serious issue with their Facebook account. So everything was down. His whole personal profile was completely disabled. And so his business was at the complete breaking point. He'd been at about $30,000 per month and went right down to like 2 to 3K. Back in August when he started with us, it was about $3,000. We managed to get access to everything again for him, which was a mission in itself. But once we did, we've literally been growing every single month from strength to strength. And in November, we actually did $32,000 for him just from Facebook ads alone. Now, for reference, he did $47,000 total. And this is where it gets really interesting. We noticed that with how well our Facebook ads were going, that we were sending all this traffic to his website, but yet he did not have a pop-up or a welcome flow set up. And so we saw this as an opportunity to actually give the client a taste of how good we are at email and SMS. And so we did a complimentary gift of giving him a pop-up and 2 emails in the welcome flow. That's it, 2 emails. And we generated thousands of dollars for him in October. And when that then came round to November, we decided, okay, the welcome flow is working really well. We're generating $3,000-$4,000 for him consistently just from 2 emails alone. Let's throw in 3 emails complimentary for him. And if we do, then it's going to convince him that he needs to join. And we kind of gave him that ultimatum. Look, we'll do these 3 emails for you if you join us on email. So we did another 3 emails for him for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And we actually ended up generating over $10,000 just from email alone with 5 emails. Incredible. Just 5 emails. And obviously, if you add the $10,000 plus the $32K that we made for him on Facebook, that's $42,000 out of the $47,000 that he made total in November. So absolutely huge. Basically, 4Media London is responsible for all of his revenue.
Amazing.
And number 2, and I'll make this one super quick, but it is a huge one as well. So I know that the content teams worked on them. We've also got Amazon working on them as well, but we do multiple services for them. And so again, for some context, we had a super successful Kickstarter campaign and they came to us right off the back of that. So I absolutely had nothing, no website, nothing. And so the first thing we did is create a website from the ground up for them. And in the first month of launching the website, which was back in October, we launched it on the 6th of October to be precise, we were able to generate $11,000 for them in that first month. So from 0 to $11,000 in literally 25 days. And then we decided to step it up once again in November. So things were going super well in November, but the thing I want to point out here is that we were selling out of stock so quickly that we ran into a problem that the day before Black Friday, we ran out of stock completely. And so we had to do a massive overhaul on the website and change everything to pre-order. And as everyone knows, that's probably the worst timing possible. And we ended up having the biggest days for the client through Black Friday. And we ended up the month of November with over $34,000 generated. So in less than 60 days, we went from 0 to $34,000. And last but not least, like I said, this client actually ended up referring 2 clients to us. One is in the works. And so that's just literally the best compliment we can get as obviously a growth partner, is to be referred new business because they're so impressed with what we're doing.
So true. It truly is the best compliment that we can receive to get a referral for our business. Thank you so much for those dubs, Luc. So our next dub comes from the Facebook team. Sounds like they've got some news about a new client that was in a little bit of a rough position before coming to us. Andy, what do you have for us today?
So our dub for this month is going to the new client. They joined November and they were in a severe credit problem. Client gave us a little bit of details that they're in a negative spiral and all the money that they've been spending on ads has been bringing them in a loss. So they were literally relying on 4Media to get them out of this cycle. We'll focus on email to get you the money in, and we'll focus on ad side to get you a new stream of top of the funnel, new people coming in all the time, and then the email team will convert them on the back end. And that's exactly what happened. Basically, where we spend more in the middle of the funnel than we do in the top of the funnel. It doesn't really make sense, but when you think about it, what's happening is the warm audience is seeing the ad multiple times. So when they see this 5-6 times, they're like, we have to buy this. It's so cheap. It's an irresistible offer. It's a $9 t-shirt. It's a $10 hoodie or whatever the case is. So with this method, you guys can see it in the picture here. The middle of the funnel has a 3.6 ROAS and the top of the funnel has a 1.29. And then it all comes down to a 3.3. So their break even is a 2.5. So that means we're in a profit now. So overall on Facebook, we were able to break through and get them out of this negative cycle. And then from the email side of things, we were able to get them 1,900 new leads via the pop-up form. And obviously the conversions from there were like around 400 purchases. So now they're making money. Moving forward with this, I think they're going to get out of that negative cycle in a few weeks or maybe a month or two. And then we're in the green and now we can start scaling for them.
Wow, that is incredible. I think I've got Eddie on the line. Eddie, I know you were close to the situation. Do you have any insight on this?
Usually I say no to these scenarios, but I saw the light at the end of the tunnel and he showed me his credit card, and basically the company before us had overspent and he had a $78,000 Amex bill that he could not pay. So he made the money for our retainer. He brought our team on. We brought in the cash, and I'm pretty confident based on what we've done the last month that bill is probably less than half at this point, and already being paid down pretty dramatically. And you guys got to understand, as a business owner, he has employees, he has team members, he has stock, he has office overhead. There's all these pieces that play into it. And so that bill is just additional on top of all that. And the company before, unfortunately, just put them in a bad spot. They weren't communicating well. And honestly, guys, this happens all the time. And we turn away most of these people because it's hard to work with someone when they're when we're the last chance that they have sometimes. You know what I mean? There's a lot of baggage that comes with that. And a lot of unrealistic expectations. We looked at the numbers. We saw opportunities that made sense for us to close the gap that weren't being done by the other company. And that's the reason we took them on. And, awesome job by Andy and Pod One to turn this thing around.
Indeed. Amazing stuff there, Eddie. Thank you to Andy from the Facebook team for sharing that dub. Now let's turn it over to Michael, our head of Amazon, to give us some more juicy dubs.
All right, Amazon dub for the month. Two of our favorite clients are back because they just keep winning and doing better and better. Whenever they came on, they were doing about 580K a month consistently on Amazon. They just closed November at 756,000.
Wow. With
an increased profit of 40% as well, and a crazy 11.27 ROAS.
Incredible.
So they're extremely happy. And I think it's important to mention, once you achieve a level, like say a revenue level on Amazon, you're kind of stuck there, right? So this isn't like a one-time hit. This is constantly month over month. We have this $756,000 platform to build on and generate this client more revenue and more profit.
Amazing. And
then the craziest one of all, they came to us earlier this year and we're doing about $30,000 in revenue per month consistently. They just closed November at $269,000 in revenue, up from October at $142,000. So the important thing is we didn't just blow money. This was very profitable. And the client came to me and was literally like, you guys have basically made a money printing machine for me. So 13.9 overall ROAS for them. But I think the important thing is, like, how did we achieve this? So everybody has heard the leaky bucket example with a website, right? It's unoptimized. You're sending customers to it, but they're just leaking out of all the unoptimized holes. So that's the first thing we do, is we go through hours and hours of really in-depth research where we analyze tens of thousands of reviews. We analyze all of the top competitors on Amazon to see what they're doing well, what they're doing bad, what we can improve on. And we optimize every little detail on the listing, from title to URL to images to infographics to A+ content, to patch all of those holes in their leaky bucket. And then we just start sending more traffic and building momentum. So it works really, really well. And we made a profit printing machine for these 2 clients.
Amazing stuff there, Michael. I think we're going to have to start calling you Jerome Powell the way that you're printing money for these clients. All right, passing it off to Kelsey for some email Black Friday dubs.
Okay, so a couple dubs for the email team. We'll start with, this is pod 1. So our goal as an email team was to go ahead and increase our sales from last year and beat all of those. We were able to do more than last year and beat all of their sales. One of the ones that is the coolest is he had turned off all paid ads, and we still were able to get him 22,000, and last year he made just over 8. And really what we did is we just planned super far in advance this year, and we really targeted different segments and made sure that our emails and our format were like ready to go and the best optimized that they could be. So shout out for pod 1 on that. This is another one, but yeah, as you can see, and we pretty much doubled last year. Great open rates, super high click rates. Now for pod 2, so this one was a big one. They followed a strategy that they did back in April, and they did Hype Week and worked with the ads team very closely. And again, optimizing certain subscribers and segments, and we're able to do a great job for them and get them a great sale. And this year we were able to make them about 138K, and last year on their own they made about 38K.
Wow.
Across all channels. So that was a really big thing, especially onboarding them in such a short period of time. So really great results on pod 2 side as well.
Wow. Email team just crushing Black Friday. I don't think the average person realizes how much leverage email and SMS creates for our clients. Absolutely incredible. Next up, we've got some exciting news from our TikTok team announcing a new service. Joining us from Snowy, Ohio, we have Nick Anderson. Yes, Nick Anderson.
My name is Nick Anderson
Sorry
from
about
the
that,
TikTok team here. As of last week, we officially launched our new TikTok organic service here at 4Media. Basically, what we do is we match up UGC content creators with brands that are looking for organic content on their profiles. In the first couple of days of being live, we partnered with 12 new content creators. Nearly every single video is getting viewed on TikTok's For You page more often than their personal profile. So I'm happy to see that. We're getting some new viewers seeing their content. I'm literally going to be reaching out to over 1,000 new creators, but Fredo, Eric, Christian, they've all been a huge help to me in getting all this set up. So big thank you to them.
Wow, huge shout out, big news. Thank you, Nick. I know our clients are absolutely going to love that new organic UGC content. Next up, we've got Google Dubs with our head of Google, Mike Croft, all the way from the UK. Mike, I've heard that you have some news as far as reporting for our clients goes. Mike, is that true?
I bring gifts in the form of Google Dubs. Maybe the most impactful, especially to clients. So we're actually changing in a very important way on how we measure our account performance at the moment on Google. Also adding in addition to how we actually report those results to clients as well. So a part of this win is discovering how well our ads are actually performing. So to give you an idea, for example, we generally do like a 7-day reporting at the moment for clients. But right now, this is only showing, let's say, the results and revenue, things like this, from people who have clicked an ad in 7 days, for example. One thing we've been missing is Google's not actually telling us how many sales actually came through cash collected in these stores for that week, like those 7 days that we're reporting. So to give you an idea of how this could be a bit, crazy sometimes, is that it's missing a massive chunk of these sales and what we're actually reporting, because it's just reporting sales from 7 days of clicks. Across all accounts, we've actually been underreporting or undervaluing our efforts in a big way in terms of what we've been doing to clients. So in the image, it shows they did 92,000 in revenue from clicks within the last 7 days. This is what we would have reported to the client, but sales actually generated in those 7 days from clicks within 30 days, but in that 7-day period is $153,000.
Wow.
Which means that to the client, we would have actually underreported cash collected by $60,000. But now basically we can report all these things from like a 7 to 14 days, like clearer than ever. And across all the accounts, we're seeing like a 30 to 150% increase in top of funnel across pretty much all accounts. The big update basically is that we're using these new metrics, which have been snuck under the rug by Google. We created some cheeky new custom metrics that we're actually able to create and measure KPIs much better in accounts, so we can grow faster. So we can increase spend, we're going to have happier customers and big picture views. And we're basically transitioning clients over to this and new ones from day one. So crazy foundational changes for Google Ads.
Wow, that is crazy. So what you're telling me is we could be spending a lot more than we previously thought. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's crazy across all accounts. So it means that we really can push spend quite a lot on quite a few accounts now. So really impactful.
Wow, amazing stuff there, Mike. Thank you so much. It sounds like we're going to have a lot more room to play with there on the Google side. Up next, we've got some huge results from our info team. Instead of working with e-commerce brands, they're working with some of the biggest names in the course and information product space. Here to share those results, our CEO, Eddie Malouf.
Cool. So context here, this is one of our clients. This line right here is not actually zero. That blue line at the bottom is actually their revenue every month for the entire year. And I think you can take a guess at where we started working together here. When you do a huge launch and you send a bunch of emails, you get everyone in the community involved, and you do a huge launch for a product, it's very hard to even get close to those expectations again, because it was a launch. You know what I mean? It's like comparing Black Friday to like another normal month. It's just not even comparable. That being said, they've averaged 10K a month for the entire year. We went into October and we did $1.4 million from $10,000. I want you guys to like digest that for a second.
Incredible.
$10,000 to $1.4 million. And the cool part is we ended up having to switch a bunch of software. Some softwares couldn't handle the volume that we were doing. So Steven and the info team was just running around we were trying new softwares, new products. Things kept breaking. And it wasn't even from our end. It was literally like the softwares would promise that they could handle it. Then we'd work with the softwares. Then volume would come in. Then they couldn't handle it and would break. And we lost, honestly, probably $500,000 of revenue that we could have generated. That being said, in November, without a Black Friday sale or anything, we got right under that $1 million mark again. We hit over 900K. So I'm super proud of this team. But not only that, we've added a bunch of A players onto the team, and I'm super excited to see. So just as a reference point, here was the revenue January to September 30th versus October 1st to December 4th.
Wow.
So you can kind of do the math here. I think we're doing just fine, but super excited for this client, and it's only the beginning. So super proud of this info team. This is honestly the highest stress department that we have right now because we spend all this money, and it's all for one day. And on Saturday, we spend $100,000 for the week, and on Saturday, if we don't make 300K, then we're in the hole. And it's like this huge we're waiting for this one event every single week. It's very high stress. Everyone's kind of attentive. Steven and I are there on weekends, just like waiting for it to happen and something to break. But we pulled through and we've done an awesome job. And again, we started this department in July. It's come a long way since, and this is only the beginning. So super, super excited, and shout out to the info team on this one.
Shout out to the info team indeed. You guys are absolutely crushing it right now. So now it's my turn to deliver some content dubs for you guys. We just wanted to go over our entire year of results that we've reached for our organic content, and that includes our posting schedule. We've posted over 300 reels this year, 308 Instagram reels to be exact. As far as Instagram views go, wow, that is our biggest metric here with 3 million views on our Instagram reels. Granted, 2 of them popped off extremely hard, both of those reaching almost 1 million views each, but in all combined, 3 million views on Instagram is no little number. And our content team for our clients has delivered over 2,030 pieces of content for our clients. That includes photos, videos, graphics, still graphics, motion graphics, anything to get our clients those views and those clicks. On our YouTube channel, we've amassed over 119,000 views this year alone, which is incredible, an amazing growth year over year from last year. Last year, I think we only received a couple tens of thousands. This year, we crossed over the 100,000 mark. Big, big news there. As far as the 4Media Uncut podcast goes with myself and Eddie Malouf, the podcast has received over 39,000 downloads across audio. That includes Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, anywhere the podcast is consumed. That is crazy for us, and we are very humbled by those numbers. 39,000. Can't believe it. Speaking of the podcast, we've got some incredible episodes that have come out in recent weeks, including J.R. Rivas and Philip Tran, and Anatoly Lubinsky, where he shared his story of escaping Ukraine while running a 50-person agency. Absolutely incredible. Coming up soon on the podcast, we have Fam Mirza, Josh Hahn, founder of Shroom Junkies, and Neil Karski. If you haven't tuned into the podcast yet, make sure you do. And if you are a fan of the podcast, we'd appreciate a rating on Apple Podcasts. And across all of our organic channels, we have received over 12,550 new followers. That's across YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything combined. 12,000 of you guys. So thank you so much for following along on the 4Media journey. I promise you, we're just getting started. Coming up in January, we have our live event specifically designed for agency owners. Agency Founders Live. It's hosted at the JW Marriott Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee on January 12th through the 15th. Attendees will get to hear from some incredible minds in the agency space, including Dee Dang, Nick Shackelford, Tommy Patterson, Lo Silva, Ravi Abuvala, Eddie Malouf, Ashton Shanks, Lindsay Shearer, Cody Jefferson, Mike Buontempo, and Mina Elias. VIP tickets are sold out, but general admission is still available. Get your tickets at theagencyfounders.com. And if Agency Founders Live isn't your thing, we've also got the Agency Secret Letters, the first physical newsletter revealing the insider secrets we'd never share digitally. That's right, physical letters shipped to your front door for just $149 a month. Agency Secret Letters, the top secrets to running a wildly successful agency. Thanks for watching the 4Media Dub Report. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Woo! All right. I think that's a wrap, Corbin. Yeah, I think we're good, yeah? It's a good one? Awesome. All right, well, I think I'm done here. All right.